Good afternoon. This is Dominic with TheBackVlog. This past weekend, in the middle of a blizzard, I finished Final Fantasy III in the Final Fantasy Anniversary Collection. It's starting to shape up a little bit, I will say. First of all, Final Fantasy 1 and 2 had the plague of having the same soundtrack. And there's nothing wrong with that because I love the music in them. But Final Fantasy 3 had new music, new battle music, new exploration music, just overall a soundtrack overhaul, and we love to see that. Final Fantasy 3 was really interesting, and one of the things about it is that it heavily rewards your exploration because there are copious amounts of hidden areas and items, and some of which are kind of like required for you to find in order to progress, especially with like the last dungeon and everything. But I don't remember 1 and 2 having these like hidden areas that you could like walk through. It's like you have to have a keen eye and like look at the walls and like look for cracks in them, and you get some really valuable stuff just by like looking through some of these areas. So I think that was really cool. So my initial note here, and I'm going to say this verbatim, is the job system is interesting, but so far I find the skill-based progression of 2 more engaging, but it has potential. I switched to the Scholar and thought it to be useless, but the combat mechanics it opens up have potential. And that was super early in the game. That was like when I opened up, or when I unlocked the first set of jobs. But the further you progress into the game, the more jobs that you unlock. And that's when I really got to sink my teeth into them. You can experiment and you can job cheese, and it's crazy. The job system got super, super fun the more I experimented with them. And I think it's starting to really come into its own. I don't know how else, I don't know how the job system gets expanded upon in the rest of the series. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works, because I know I don't think 7 had the job system. So yeah, I want to see like how that is iterated upon. But at least here, because like I still really do like the individual progression of 2. I know a lot of people hate that, but I don't know why. I guess I just like grinding. I don't know. But once I really got to like get a handle of the job system here, I think it blows 2 out of the water just because of how much fun there is to be had with it. I thought it was incredible. The story is still cookie cutter, but they're getting more ambitious with it, and I can tell. I was looking at the review, I guess, curve for Final Fantasy 3 and 1 and 2 on Backlogged whenever I finished it, and I liked 1 and 2. It's like overwhelmingly like a 6 out of 10 for everybody. And this game is like regarded as like a 6 out of 10 also. But it's a little bit more than a 6 out of 10 generally. And Final Fantasy 4 is the first game where it's like, okay, people are saying 7 or 8 out of 10. And then 5 and 6 obviously. So I'm really looking forward to see like if I like the first Final Fantasy games up to this point, even like for all the problems that they definitely have, I want to see now what the general consensus of these games that are better are. And I was thinking about it today because I'm probably going to play 7 again whenever I get there. I'm not going to talk about it on this channel because I've already played it, but I have a much greater appreciation for Final Fantasy 7 now that I have more context of the original ones. Because not to say that like Final Fantasy 7 wasn't fantastic, because it is, and it's groundbreaking and it's a masterpiece, and it's like one of the things that made games that what it is today. But I think knowing where Final Fantasy started and then knowing where it eventually went, it had to have been mind-blowing. I could not imagine like what my brain would have thought at that in the year of 1997. But yeah, that was Final Fantasy 3. I thought it was fantastic. I'm looking forward to finishing this collection. The sprite work is incredible. I love the artwork in here. I always love the artwork in here. There's one more thing I want to talk about. And I think this is just a thing with Final Fantasy in general. I think if I recall, 7 had this, 2 had this, and I think 1 had this. But whenever a Final Fantasy game officially opens up to you and shows you its hand, it's insane. Because like you start out on the floating continent and like it's big. If this is like the overworld for the game, that's fine by me. Like it's big enough. This game is from like 1990 or whatever. I don't expect much. At a certain point, you get like an airship, and this airship takes you off the floating continent, and it opens up like to the rest of the planet basically. And it's crazy because it's like, wait a second. The floating continent just like the game like literally just like tripled in size basically. It kind of like felt like Elden Ring a little bit, not as severe as Elden Ring, because Elden Ring just didn't stop growing. But when the initial like rug pull happened in Final Fantasy 3, my mind was fucking blown, man. It was insane. I was like, that's crazy. So yeah, I want to see what 4 through 6 have to offer. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this series. I was initially hesitant at first because I was like, okay, we got to get through. I'm gonna play all the Final Fantasy games except for the MMOs, and I'm gonna see, like, I'm gonna go through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I was expecting these to be bad or ugly, but you know, they're pretty good so far. I really like them. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but if this is a cup of tea, this is a English breakfast or green tea or something of the sort. Bye.